I absolutely destroyed my metabolism for many years. So this video is going to teach you everything that you need to know about how to destroy your metabolism so that you don't do it. Ready? Let's go. Okay, let's just dive straight into this. This was me in 2016. And while to society's eye, or I should say maybe the eye of someone who is embedded in diet culture, I may look relatively healthy, normal. I had a low body weight, I had a really small frame, I had a low body fat percentage, and I had visible abs. Looks like I'm the epitome of health, right? Except for the fact that I wasn't at all. As just a young adult, I'm talking about 20, 21 years old back here in these pictures, I wasn't doing so hot. My blood work literally looked as if I was an 85-year-old menopausal woman. That is not my words, that is literally the words of my doctor that I used to go see. My health was terrible. My metabolism was completely shot. But the crazy thing is, at that time, I had no idea that my metabolism was shot. I had no idea what the metabolism was, besides the fact that I equated metabolism with body weight. And so I thought because I was small, because I was skinny, that, well, I had a good metabolism. But that could have been further from the truth. So what we are doing here in this video is I'm literally going to take you through a day in my life about 6 or 7 years ago, kind of what I was doing then that led me to have such a low metabolic rate. The purpose of this video is for you to understand what are you doing that's impacting your metabolism in a negative way, and therefore what things should you stop doing and what things should you start doing. So this is going to be really educational for a lot of you guys who are stuck in the dieting mentality, and a lot of you guys who are dealing with the negative consequences of that, whether that be amenorrhea or irregular cycles or digestive issues, maybe you have hair loss. There's a myriad of things that are gonna go wrong when we have a low metabolic rate. If you are someone who is currently living in this low metabolic state or has a suspicion that you are living in this low metabolic state, I would love for you to tap the like button in solidarity here. I have been exactly where you are at. I completely understand. Hey, so before we get started with a day in my life from 6 years ago, let's just quickly talk about what metabolic damage is. Actually, that's not really the right term. It's more like metabolic adaptation. Because you're not really damaging anything, rather your body is simply just responding to the cues that it is getting, and it is adapting in the appropriate manner. Let's put it this way. If I decided that I was going to move to Wyoming in the middle of winter, I'm going to adapt to my environment by putting on lots of beanies and gloves and a big puffy jacket. I might even be wearing multiple layers of pants because I'm adapting to the cold environment around me. But if I decided to move to Hawaii in the middle of summer, well, I'm going to start wearing bikinis and tank tops and shorts. So I'm constantly adapting my lifestyle, what I'm wearing, in accordance to what the weather is and where I'm at. And it's important that we go through this adaptation process, because if I'm in Hawaii wearing a huge big jacket, I'm going to be suffocating. And if I am in Wyoming without a big jacket and just wearing a bikini in the middle of the snow blizzard, well, I literally could get hypothermia and I could die. So adaptation is extraordinarily important. So before we talk about how your metabolism has been adapting, let's talk about what metabolism is. Now, if you wanted a deep dive understanding of the metabolism and how to heal it and how to really nourish and support it via food and lifestyle choices, then my signature course, Get Your Flow On, is definitely going to be the place for you to dive into all that information. But I'm going to give a quick synopsis. Actually, I'm not going to. We literally are going to get a quick synopsis from ChatGPT on what the metabolism is. Metabolism refers to all the chemical reactions that occur in an organism to sustain life. It involves the conversion of food and other substances into energy and building blocks for the body. Metabolism is a complex process that includes various biochemical pathways such as digestion, respiration, and synthesis of complex molecules. There are two main types of metabolism. Catabolism, this involves the breakdown of complex molecules into simpler ones, releasing energy in the process. For example, the breakdown of glucose to produce energy is a catabolic process. Then there's anabolism. This involves the synthesis of complex molecules from simpler ones, requiring energy in the process. For example, the synthesis of proteins from amino acids is an anabolic process. Overall, metabolism is essential for maintaining homeostasis in the body and is influenced by various factors such as genetics, age, diet, and physical activity. So I can only imagine what's going on in your head right now. You're thinking, wait a minute, metabolism is not just about my weight. No, darling, it is not at all. So when I'm talking about how do we heal your metabolism, I'm not talking about how do we lose a bunch of weight and maintain a lean body mass. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how do we increase the various biomarkers of health like digestion, hormonal health, and your immune system. So let's throw away this notion that skinny equals good metabolism, because trust me, I've worked with hundreds of women throughout the past 5 or 6 years of my, career, and trust me, I've seen many people at a very low body weight who have absolutely destroyed their metabolism. So 6 years ago, my routine looked like this. I would wake up to an alarm clock at around 5:30 a.m. and I would literally jolt out of bed. The first thing I would do is I'd put on my running clothes, put on my shoes, tie up my hair, and I would head to the gym. This was the number one mistake I made. All right, so this was probably one of the biggest things that I was doing on a continual basis to absolutely destroy my metabolism. What happens here is that when we wake up in the morning, cortisol is high. That is what literally gets us up and out of bed. Our body is low on nutrients and glucose levels because we've been fasting overnight, and our liver is usually at that point where it's like, I really need some carbohydrates to get going here. And so it spikes up cortisol and we wake up. So cortisol is pretty high. Now, what happens when we go and we do something that is going to literally up our cortisol even more? We take our high cortisol and we take it up another level, because exercise is stress to the body. I don't care what you think. Oh, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel, relaxed and easy and like I can finally think. Physiologically though, exercise is raising those cortisol levels. What happens here is cortisol and our sex hormones work on this little seesaw. So if cortisol is up super high, sex hormones are gonna be down here pretty low. So even if we try and get our cortisol levels down during the day, we've just created such a big imbalance because we wanted to go and do a fasted workout in the morning. So you know that song that's been on Instagram Reels like everywhere, I'm sure it's on TikTok too, that's like, dumb ways to die, dumb ways to die.
2-week-old unrefrigerated pie, dumb ways to die.
Whatever it is, literally this is that. Dumb ways to die. Don't be doing fasted workouts in the morning. To top it off, after doing my fasted workout, I literally would drink lemon water. This was a big mistake. I should have been refueling my body after exercise because my body needs all those proteins, fats, and carbohydrates to replenish my muscles and to build strength. But instead, I wanted to kind of detox more, so lemon water was the way to go. And of course, after just like 20 minutes of, lemon water kind of starving off my hunger, I would go to the next thing that definitely was destroying my metabolism. I would drink black coffee on an empty stomach in the morning without any food.
2-week-old unrefrigerated pie, dumb ways to die.
So now that my cortisol levels are sufficiently high, my sex hormones are completely down in the dumps, let's move on to lunch. Which of course for lunch, I would just have a salad. Now this is a great way for me to downregulate my metabolism even more. There's simply just not enough nutrition, bioavailable nutrition specifically, and enough calories for me to actually build that fire of my metabolism. And I want you to think of it that way. Metabolism is like a fire, and if you want your fire to be bigger and stronger, you need to feed and fuel the fire. It's the same thing with your body. If you want your metabolism to be fast and efficient and high and like this raging fire, you actually have to eat. And eating salad, quite honestly, is just not the best thing to be doing every single day. And of course, I would throw away the dressing because you don't want too many calories in your salad.
2-week-old unrefrigerated pie, dumb ways to die.
All right, now hindsight is 2020, but one of the things that I was doing on a consistent basis that was absolutely destroying my metabolism was literally drinking water all day. All day, literally, the whole day. I would just fill up cups and cups and cups and cups of water to starve off my hunger instead of actually just having a well-balanced snack. This was messing up the electrolyte balances in my body. It was actually getting me to feel like pretty dizzy and definitely was suppressing my metabolism. Now, I had a very important step count to reach every day. Some of you guys might be familiar with this. I made sure that I walked 10K steps every single day on top of my workout routine. With all the other movement I was doing, it was just too much.
2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Drop, waste to drop.
So at the end of the day, you would hope that I would actually have like a really good sturdy meal that's pretty balanced, but nope, that was not the case. I would fill my dinner plate up with a ton of not just vegetables, but green vegetables. I was obsessed with eating a ton of broccoli, asparagus, okra, spinach, kale, all those type of veggies. And the reason why this becomes an issue, it's not that I'm not a veggie fan, okay? I'm not a veggie hater. I do like the taste of my veggies. But the reason this becomes an issue is because a lot of these cruciferous vegetables have something called Coitogens. Now, Coitogens are actually going to go and suppress thyroid function. Now, do we need to be paranoid and never eat a vegetable ever again? It's not what I'm saying. But something that I was doing that was destroying my metabolism was focusing my nutrition way too much on these little green veggies instead of building more of a balanced plate where I was eating plenty of protein, carbs, and fats and having a little accent of vegetables instead of making vegetables my main meal. The other issue with me eating so many vegetables is that it was really taxing on my digestive system. My body simply could not take this much fiber, so I had a really slow, sluggish digestive system during this time. So again, let's take it back to that notion of your metabolism is a fire. And in order for your metabolism to be like this raging hot, burning fire, you need to actually be feeding it. And I think people make the mistake of thinking that a plate full of veggies is a ton of food, but in all reality, the body isn't seeing it that way, guys. So if I were you and I was trying to have a good metabolism, I'd be making sure that my vegetable intake was in a very balanced proportion. I think this was a really good representation of the things that I was doing on a continual basis that were, well, leading to that metabolic adaptation, leading me to have a low metabolic rate. If you are looking at my, previous day in the life and thinking, you know what, I'm doing a lot of very similar things and I'm experiencing all of the signs and symptoms of having a low metabolism. Low body temp, you get cold easily, digestive issues, hair loss, brain fog, feeling wired but tired, inability to sleep, having an irregular cycle and or just your cycle has gone missing. Like, these are all signs that your lifestyle, the things that you are doing every single day, is not supportive enough for your metabolic rate. So your next step is going to be to learn how to heal your metabolism, to learn how to set your life up, all of your dietary choices, your lifestyle choices, in a way that it is going to be supportive for your health. Sometimes there's small little things like, say, drinking coffee after food with cream and sugar to mitigate the, harsh effects of that caffeine on your body so that your cortisol levels don't spike so much. Or it could be a big shift and change. You completely healing your relationship to food, getting out of the dieting mentality where you're only eating 1,800 calories and you're eating a really low fat, low carb diet and you're eating a ton of veggies and you're suppressing your body weight and you don't have enough body fat percentage for your metabolism to actually work well. That's gonna require a bigger shift. And I know that can seem daunting, but ladies and gents, for the gentlemen who are here, I went through this whole process myself. After 11 years of really destroying my metabolism, I had to make some big shifts and changes so that I could get my period back. And this wasn't as easy as simply following a list of start doing this and stop doing that. It was psychologically and emotionally a very hard process for me to go through. And that's why a lot of people stay stuck in this, because it's gonna require you to go on the journey of releasing previous identities that you've had. Maybe you've maintained this identity of I'm the small one, I'm the athletic chick, whatever it is, right? And you're going to have to learn how to let go of that identity because it's no longer serving you. It's a big job, which is why I both work one-on-one with people through this whole process to guide them through it. And I also created a very in-depth course that takes you through this whole process of rewiring your brain in terms of how it sees food and body, and also teaching you how to nutritionally rehabilitate your body after being in a low metabolic rate for a long period of time. The course is called Get Your Flow On. It's my main recovery course and community. I'm in there every single day, messaging all the girls in the group chats, in the private chats, sending voice notes, sending little videos, doing Eat With Me, live. So we're challenging food challenges together. We are doing weekly food challenges. We do group coaching every single week. It is really a helpful experience to be just surrounded by a group full of other women from around the world who are on this journey of ditching diet culture and becoming a well-nourished woman. So you can click the link down below to join us in the course and the community. And if you are ready to watch my next video, I'm gonna pop it up right here.